Hello, everybody. This is Jade Urich checking in on a Buck live stream. It's Wednesday, October the 13th at 9:30 p.m. And just very happy to welcome people again to a live stream. This is awesome. It's great to be back, doing it up again. And just very excited to continue to share what's going on at Buck. Wanted to pay one particular big shout out to Emma Fleury Harvey, coming back to work at Buck Productions today after taking her mat leave. It's awesome to have Emma back in the house, and there's going to be a lot of awesome new developments coming out of that. So stay tuned for that, of course. Very excited that it's October. It's a great month, especially for us film lovers. And with Buck, we have few things in the wind that I think would be great to sort of promote in the following weeks. I don't know if anybody here who's tuning in right now has any favorite sort of Halloween, October-themed Buck films, but I can think of one or two specifically that star a police officer who transforms at Moonlight, maybe called Wolf Cop or another Wolf Cop. So there should be some throwbacks and some awesome content to throw out in there. Just also as a note, the first Buck live stream I ever did was a year ago on October 20th with Lowell Dean and Jonathan Cherry of Wolf Cop. So just loving to throw back to that. It's crazy that it's almost been a year since we started doing these live streams on Instagram, and just wanted to, say to everybody that's tuned in over the year, this has been a great ride and excited for more. Always excited for more. So without further ado, one more thing. We have a very exciting series called The Great God Pan. It's being developed with the Soska sisters, as well as Amy Arsenio and Steve McKay, as well as Emma Fleury Harvey. And we might be throwing a little bit of spooky content that way as well. So stay tuned, folks. I'm looking forward to celebrating this October season properly. But without further ado, I think I should make the intro for our guest tonight. So I'll start with a definition. Boundless, the adjective. It means unlimited or immense and having no bounds. And that definition sums up our next Buck livestream guest oh so well, and is fitting, as it is the title of her film. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud to announce our next guest, the one and only actor, filmmaker, artist, and singer extraordinaire, Kate Campbell. I'm going to go through her bio now. So appearing in the Oscar-nominated film Gone Girl, which all of us have seen and is an amazing film, and nominated for a Maverick Movie Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role in the feature film Badsville, directed by April Mullen. Kate is also an award-winning filmmaker and an international vocalist, recording artist, and frontwoman for the LA-based bands The Martini Kings and Pop Nouveau Jazz. Those bands just sound awesome. I want to go see them. Her first narrative short film, Boundless, which we're going to be talking a lot about tonight, is about the women Air Force service pilots. Has won now 13 awards on its festival tour. That's wild. And the short includes 60 background performers, 40 crew members, 11 cast, and flying warplanes. Quite the scale for a short, quite the production value, and just quite the amount of things to weave together in one thing. So it's the Boundless project is in writing development to become a miniseries. So very, very excited about that. And just what's going on for Kate. She's prepping to direct Dana Fradkin's psychological thriller feature film Satisfaction in January 2022. Very cool. And the film is being produced by Film Co-op and Black Box Global. We know a lot about Film Co-op. And splitting her time between Toronto and LA, Kate is also a student pilot member of the Coachella Valley chapter of the 99s. So I think, without further ado, I'm going to welcome Miss Kate Campbell into the Buck live stream. And without further ado, welcome, Kate. Cheers to you. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Long time no see.
I know. How have you been?
I'm good. I've been busy, but I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, my friend.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. First and foremost, welcome. It's very thankful and grateful to you for taking the time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. What have you been up to?
Yeah, right. Well,
Just to get ready.
Mostly these days it's prep for the feature film Satisfaction. We're going to camera in January.
Yep.
And there's a lot of things to coordinate, even though we've condensed it quite a bit to be able to be at one location, and we've cut it down the script to about six actors, six
Okay.
women. It's all
Oh,
women, and
nice.
it seems to be our crew is mainly women too again. So this is good. I'm good with this.
Rock on.
Yeah.
So you're slated to direct that in January, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
That's nice
Right.
to sort of get you through to the summer.
What's that?
It's nice to have something in the winter lined up.
Oh yeah, and then because then we'll jump into editing and doing all the post
Oh, very nice.
film.
And where are you shooting it?
We were shooting at the Galapagos Center in Smith Falls.
Oh, very nice.
It's this abandoned 1940s hospital. It's very, very creepy. It's
Okay.
cool. It's very, very cool. We're very lucky to find it. So
It's
we're there, and the actual location is like a character. Like it's totally a character in the film, because
yeah.
it's just so there's so many facets. Like there's these old medical buildings, and then there's these old wards, and there's this 1940s, old gym, and then there's a pool. Like it's crazy. It's very, very cool.
Nice. So, I mean, in finding this location, what was that process like for you? I mean, I'm always curious about finding locations, finding the right one to sort of be that character. It's like casting, but for locations.
Yes. Oh, you froze for a second. There you are.
Fair.
Yeah. So that was our producer, Pat McGowan, who's producing with his company Black Box Global. So he found that location for us and kind of made that connection.
Nice. Nice. And this is a horror film. Is there anything else you can tell us about sort of what it's about?
Well,
Or
it's like it's
what
not. It's so horror. It's so funny because my partner is like, "You're directing this," because I don't like scary movies. But I really love this, and I love, it's a psychological thriller, and and the women who I'm working with are the reason why I'm doing it. A big part of the reason why I'm doing it, and it's sort of like Shutter Island, which I love. Shutter Island meets Black Swan meets Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. So those are all really fun movies and
Nice.
really, really juicy. So it's not just like gore for the sake of gore. I don't like that.
And how long of a shoot are you guys looking at? And what's
Really short, just a couple week turnaround. So
nice, nice. That's awesome.
we're
Gorilla.
getting in, we're getting out.
Very nice, very nice. I am, as a fan and somebody that wants to sort of just embrace and engage the indie community.
Yeah.
I applaud you, and I'm excited to
Thank you. Thank
hear
you. It's
people.
very different than the historical stuff that I've been doing. It's just like, and now for something completely different.
That's
It's
well, that's good. That's what it's all about. Is finding the next thing that's going to be different and challenging so
challenging in a different way, and what's really cool is that we're bringing back a lot of our amazing key people. Like Sarah Thomas Moffat is going to DP again, and she did a beautiful job of Boundless, and then Pip Dwar is going to come as my first AD. And so we're gathering the troops.
well, I wish you all of the best in the months leading up to Satisfaction, and keep us in the loop, and we'll be sharing stuff as it comes out. I'm excited. Gonna go to the somber topic, but how has your 2021 been? How has sort of COVID impacted your work?
Yeah, 2021 was, it was interesting. I think this was my first winter back in Toronto without any break, like without any sunshine break. And I've been very lucky.
Having a
With my
minor technical
fiance,
difficulty on
with
your
my
end, Kate.
partner.
There,
Yes, can you?
there you are.
Oh, okay, I'm back.
Yep.
So I don't know what you missed, but it was my first winter being back without a break to go to LA or for working, to travel or anything like that. So it was a bit heavy, but I was with my amazing fiance and my partner. So that was really cool.
Beautiful.
We just kind of hunkered down and cooked and, and read and wrote and created and did some stuff. And, it's just, I think that when you don't have something next, it's really, really tough. So it's just always finding time to line up the next thing or creative, or constantly finding ways to be creative,
Right.
Whether that's cooking or, prepping for a feature film, or writing something you've always wanted to write, or anything. It can be anything. But that act of doing that really fuels the engines, and it sort of opens the gateway instead of, sort of going, I'm just going to wait it out or not participate in life, even though life was very much shut down.
Yeah, harder to find those environments that are public to do it in. So it's a lot more of isolated sort of creative work, I would suppose. But I'm curious what you've been sort of consuming lately on like what you've been reading, watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, watching, Mayor of Easttown was phenomenal. I
Yeah, heard of.
loved that show. Kate Winslet is my god, but every single character in that was so fantastic. And then, Jean Smart, and then in Hacks, seeing her in Hacks as well, like Jean Smart is phenomenal. And then reading, I've been reading The Huntress by Kate Quinn, which is like a World War II, and it's 3 different timelines. And then one of those timelines includes the Night Witches, which
Nice.
were the German women who flew and dropped bombs on the enemy, which
The
is really cool.
called The Huntress.
Huntress, yeah, by Kate Quinn.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Shifting gears to
Oh, I have to say one more thing.
Go. Yeah, no, no.
Okay. Some people may not like this because it's really weird, but I really loved the musical Annette.
Okay.
It's on Prime.
Yeah.
And it stars Adam Driver, and it's totally weird, but it's very, very cool. I loved it. I loved it.
I should check it out. I haven't even heard, so now I'm gonna go check it out. Annette.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Annette.
Well,
I won't say anything else about it.
No, yeah. No. I finished Squid Game. That was a good time. Very much enjoyed.
Oh, cool! I have not seen that yet.
It was a. I'm not much of a binger. I'm more of like a one and done. I'm more of a feature film watcher, but
Yeah.
Squid Game kind of it definitely hooked me, and hook line and sinker on that one. And enjoyed that whole series. Looking forward to.
Yeah, it has for a lot of people. That's cool.
Yeah, it seems to be doing quite well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Curious, yeah, just to shift gears and kind of take me through sort of those initial moments, or what you can recall as sort of being that moment when you kind of was like, okay, performance is what I want to do, and when you made that decision to sort of go after that.
Yeah. For me, what spoke to me the most, when I was a kid and a young adolescent, it was musicals. Really was musicals. Live theater.
Yep.
Really hit me. And so I was like, whatever that is, I want to do that.
Right.
And I went to Sheridan for music theater
Nice.
after high school. And then when I came out, I didn't want to sing. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to I did some film and TV stuff. But I was not, it literally boxed up my music. I was like, done. Because I feel like I hadn't really found my voice yet. So when I moved to LA, all I wanted to do was sing. So it
Right.
sort of launched a whole new career for me out there, which was is still fantastic. I haven't done it in a while, but I'm going to go back at the end of November to do a little tour. So
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah. So the music is I was raised on old movies and old musicals and stuff like that, but the live theater was the thing that really, I was like, oh God. And then, you can take that and make that into a thing that you can carry around or you can watch, forever.
Right.
um, was really cool about filmmaking. Like there's a thing in a movie called That's Entertainment that Liza Minnelli says about these old superstars like her mother Judy Garland and Gene Kelly, and she says, well, you can never say why was this person so good, what made them so good. You show them a piece of film. It's timeless. So
Right. Very, yeah. That's beautiful.
that's
That's sort of that initial inspiration, I suppose.
yeah.
Nice. Well, what, I guess sort of like actors or, we'll stay on the performance and actors or, and even singers as well that maybe were influences for you and your style and developing your craft, both as an actor and as a singer.
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. um, you know Everyone from Nina Simone to Ella Fitzgerald to big time Frank Sinatra and to Johnny,
All standards.
um,
Yeah.
Doris Day, and then acting wise, the Meryl Streep. I
Yeah.
think are you, oh, I'm back. Okay. And acting wise, the Meryl Streep, like Out of Africa is my favorite movie of all time. And it's not like something I want to watch every day, but it's just the feeling that I get, and especially a lot of the flying stuff, the flying shots really inspired me to not only acting wise, but then to go, oh, how can I recreate that? Or like, and that's what I was sort of playing with the teaser of
Right.
Boundless. The feeling of that, not that it's the same story.
Right. Uh, I'm
I don't know if you got all that.
no, no, yeah. It's like buffering, but I'm still catching everything, the audio you're saying, so it's good. It's fine. Technological,
Okay, cool.
modern world.
That's
Um,
yeah.
we bring a lot of both here and over on the Wildfire live stream, which I host as well. We talk to a lot of different people that sort of identify as like multi hyphenates. So they have all of these different um, balances of different careers within the entertainment industry, and obviously you are one of those. You have singer, actor, director, producer, writer. The list goes on. What are some of the challenges in managing that sort of a career where you have so many different hats to wear?
Um, that's a good question too. I think I think the challenging part is when you have to do it all yourself, which I didn't do it all myself for Boundless,
No,
but I
yeah,
did a lot.
yeah,
I had to do all of those things, except I removed myself from the acting because it would have been too much for that. But when you have a team that's behind you, it's great because it's kind of like you can speak their language. You can speak all the languages that you need to speak in order to, and it's what I love about being an actor's director. You know what I
right,
mean? Like I can get in there and I love working with actors and, you know, and learning different things, right? It's an education as well, but not being afraid to ask questions or to fail in a massive way is really important. So I guess that's a challenge.
right. No, good, great
I don't
answer.
know.
I think like what I'm trying to, I guess, get after here is I mean, understanding what it takes to make this journey, the artist's journey.
Right. Well, it's you're not going to be able to do all the things at the same time. Like there you sort of like there are compartments, but there is a through line to the whole thing. And I think that having a really solid purpose that makes sense to all the through lines of why you're doing the things that you're doing is really important.
Right.
Even though they look very different, um, it's the same thing that is keeping you going, if that makes sense.
No, it does
Do
that
you know
through.
what I mean? Like it's the same love for the thing. It's the same passion for the thing that keeps you going through all different facets.
Right.
Um, but you can treat them very differently. Like, okay, this is my actor self now. This is my director hat now. This is my producer hat now. This is my writer hat now. Because they all do feel different and they live in different parts of you. But it's
Right.
still they're still part of the same orchestra.
Right.
So
It's a lot in balancing those because you want to
yeah,
be as
and
good
some
as you.
things are going to drop off. Like if you're focusing more on this right now, then this is going to take a back seat, and you can't focus on all the things at the same time. I guess that's what you mean by challenging. Like, it's not, you can't be going 100 at all the things, you know, something's got to give a little bit. But I do believe you can have it all. I do
I
believe that it's possible.
I
We
feel it.
can make it possible.
I think you. I'm curious about. I guess this is sort of a very generally based question, and take it wherever you'd like to go with it. But what has this journey given you, and what do you feel like you've given others in your journey as an artist?
Oh, okay. Um, what this journey has given to me, um, you know, basically everything. It's 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 given me um, a real sense of who I am, no matter what is going on. Like the training of that, like as an actor, the rejection, like I'm just gonna keep opening and opening and opening, and um, finding a way to keep going in the face of it, a reason why that this is important to me, as opposed to waiting for a response. Um, that sort of waiting for a response gave me um, the inspiration to go and make my own film, because I was tired of waiting for someone to give me permission. You know, I was
Right.
like, well, I gotta wait for that. Don't I have to wait for that? Do I have to wait for that? No, I don't know. Let's find out. Um, and I think the experience, like just the experience of you build it, people will come, and people will feel inspired, or whatever they, you know, I don't know. I mean, I hope to inspire people. I don't know. I mean, I think that I have with this film, and I think, you know, I know that I have. I've gotten feedback that I have. I know that I have. But I want to kind of take it a step further in terms of like, okay, well, how do we expand that? How do we amplify that so that more people are included, or how do we make it bigger? Um, or more in a consistent way. Like it's just that it's a tiny taste of it, you know, that sort of reciprocal.
Right. A little bit of difficulty here. Slight buffer. It's a good buffer though. In this moment of buffer, just gonna say this has been a great interview so far.
Shoot, there you are. Okay, I missed everything you just said. What did you say?
I was just, as it was buffering, I was just saying this has been a great interview so far.
Oh no, shoot, yeah, it was. Where did I drop off?
I think it was. I don't recall,
Okay,
but that's okay.
it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I what I was meaning was that I believe I have inspired people. I have been deeply inspired by everyone that I've worked with.
Yeah.
You know, like literally everyone who helped make that film happen. You know, Sarah Thomas Moffat and Tammy Ray and Buck Productions, and you know, Olivier Supernant and Claudia Yurt and Pip Dwar, like all my producer people who really went to bat. And um, you know, and then we had an amazing cast and crew, and it's just a taste though. It's just the beginning. It's so the beginning, even though it was an extraordinary thing. And I think that has launched a lot of really beautiful things into the world, because I haven't seen anything like this
Right.
yet. And I want to see more stuff. So that is my hope, and that is my dream, is that this is the catalyst for lots of stories like this to come.
Well, before we, I guess, dive right into Boundless, just to do a quick sort of recall to
Sure.
some of your experiences from other projects, specifically, you know, the big film on your resume, The Gone Girl, film by David Fincher, and then Badsville by April Mullen. I'm just curious about, just maybe take like maybe one example from each, and to just like a highlight of what the collaborative process was like for you as an actor, but also potentially like what you might have gained from watching those two very differing styles and scales and type of a person, as far as April Mullen and a David Fincher, but
Yeah.
what maybe you kind of may have gleaned from that process as an actor, but also maybe absorbing as like, when I direct, this is what I might want to do.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I think what from Fincher, I mean, it was the whole master class. It was an education. We were there. I was there the whole day, and we were sitting with Ben Affleck and, God, what's her name?
Rosamund
It's
Pike.
terrible. Rosamund Pike.
Yep.
And you know, the whole day. And he was like, "We're taking the whole day to do this shot." And a million times, and I love that. I mean, as an actor, I love that. As a director, it drives everybody crazy. But what I loved about him the most is that he just got what he needed to get, no matter what was going on. I mean, he had the time and the space and the money, but he was like, "Nope, I don't care who you are. If you're Ben Affleck and you're freaking out that I'm going again, I don't give a shit. We're doing this again."
Yeah.
And that was really fun to watch. He kind of reamed Ben Affleck out a little bit, which was really fun. For being on his phone during Rosamund's close-up.
Oh.
Yeah, it was good. And then working with April, you know, was so fantastic. You know, she was just so allowing me to have so much creative freedom. It was sort of a difficult role, and I had to work with he was a 10-year-old boy, and I was like a heroin addict and stuff. So, I mean, the kid was amazing, and he sort of let me have creative freedom as well. But it was, you know, I had to die in front of him, and you know, I had track marks, and it was just like, ugh. I think I posted a photo, and it really freaked out a lot of people. Well, the good stuff.
It's the work. It's the work.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's the good stuff.
Well, I guess just to go behind the camera now, shift gears to behind the camera, or like the origin story. How did Boundless start for you, and what, like, was it research that got it going, and what sort of motivated you to do this project?
Yeah, well, my grandmother, who was a pilot after the war in Canada, was my inspiration to start this whole thing. And she was my best friend growing up. I just was so close to her. When she passed back in 2003, I was wanting to do something to honor her. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to research, you know, a bit about her lineage with this and her group that she was a member of. The 99s is a group of women. You know, the 99s are founded by Amelia Earhart, still active in 66 countries around the world today. And I'm a member of their chapter in Coachella Valley. And so I went around and I went to the head of the 99s, and it was a woman named Asti Livingston. And she was the president at the time, and she took me up on a plane and showed me what my grandmother would have had to fly instrumentally and what she wouldn't have had back then, like in the 50s.
Right.
And it was extraordinary. And through the years, we became friends, and she introduced me to a lot of people once I moved down to the States. And, you know, and then, you know, we were, I'm saying this because she recently, I'm telling you about her because she recently passed away in a small plane crash a couple of weeks ago.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, it's tragic because she was in her 40s and she's got 4 kids, and she was incredible. She was a flyer, she was a deep sea diver and a fencer. So truly very grateful for Asti, and sending love to her family and her children.
Absolutely.
And her friends.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that was really the woman who helped me and started me off on this journey, because I asked, and she, and then once I was in Los Angeles, I connected with more women pilots on my own through other connections, and just researched and got to interview them and all the things. A lot of them are no longer around. So I have a lot of interview footage that's pretty amazing. And through the years, collecting this information, I started to write about it. I wanted someone else to write about it for me because I wasn't a writer, I thought. And so everyone I asked said no, and thankfully, and then I ended up writing it. And it's had 1 million incarnations. And I don't think it was the right time before now. You know, like, I really don't think the world was ready for this story until now.
I can breathe on that for a moment, for sure. And just to take a moment for Asti too. That's really sad. Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
for sure. That's very tragic.
Yeah.
Uh, I just to segue into just sort of going into how the process of making this film came together for you, and what each process kind of went for you, like from prep to post.
Um, well, I decided to, I was after the teaser. I shot the teaser and then I decided to shoot the short. I hadn't written it yet. I spoke with Sarah, who is my DP and my producer,
Yep.
one of the producers in Los Angeles. We met for dinner and in March of that spring. And then I asked her if she would uh, shoot it. And she said yes. And I was so grateful. And then from there, I sort of moved my focus back to Toronto, which is where our headquarters were,
Yep.
and gathered the team from there. And Buck helped with that, and helping me, hone the short once I had written it and all the rest of it. And then we just gathered our team. We had to push it back a couple of times. Like I was very ambitious and wanted to do it earlier, and then we ended up shooting at the end of September. And Cam Herod, who's my aerial coordinator, who's the greatest man on the face of the earth. I had met him years ago, and he is so fantastic. I just by chance sent him a list of aircraft. And I was like, hey, I don't know if this is going to happen or not. This was years ago, but this is what I'm looking for. Is this something you could do? And he literally within hours came back with like, yep, we have this is where I could get this. I can source this, and not asking me like, am I going to get paid? Or like, is this going to ever happen? I was like, I don't know. I'm just asking like a question. I don't know if this is going to happen. I'm just like, what does it look like? Because everyone's so afraid of planes, I was like, well, let's just ask. And so, so he was my main man on the, on this shoot, obviously, and he had taken me up several times before to scout, and a couple years before we did this, a few years before we did this, and then so he got all the planes for the shoot. We got everything ready. I mean, there's so much. How much time do we have? There's so much to tell you. I don't know. Like we lost a plane, then we got a plane back. The day before we were supposed to shoot, and we had to have 60 extras, and we traveled everyone on a grid with 100 people for the day, picking everyone up. So we didn't everyone gave everyone a ride. It was ridiculous. It was so fantastic. People flying themselves in to be an extra for the day. The women, like one of the women pilots whose family was in the military. Mm-hmm. And so it was just such a huge education and a huge thrill. So we shot it, and the amazing talent of Lou Jurgens and TJ Riley and Ellen Dubin and everyone. It was really something. And then we went to post with, of course, Rolling Pictures and Clark Stanley, who were just like, what do you need? We'll give you all of it. So it was fun. And then the pandemic hit. So it was just sort of dealing with post during the middle of that, which was, they made it really fantastic.
Yeah, I'm in the Rolling
and
theater.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, I see that there. I was like, where are you? That's great. Oh, it's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a screening now that we can kind of do those things now, maybe.
Absolutely.
I just would love for people to see it in the theater. I was at a movie the other day at TIFF, and I was like, oh, right, movies in a theater. What's that? Because everything's streaming now, which I love, but it's not the same. Especially for this film too. Like the sound is such a huge part of it, and the planes and stuff. And I was a stickler about the sound. But everyone was really fantastic.
The big thing
made it happen.
The big thing I really want to touch on, because with a film I produced called The Burglar, this is something that we were able to have a lot of success with, which was our festival run. And what I've noticed about Boundless is a similar narrative, and it's hitting, and it's the right film for the time. Kind of like how Burglar kind of had that same sort of thing, where it's like it's hitting on some social issues and stuff that are really, punchy, that really need to be tackled. So I would love it if you want to explain like what exactly those issues are that it's hitting and why you think it's doing so well in its festival run. And shout out to some of the festivals that you've gotten into and just like that whole experience for you. Obviously, it's remote, so this it's being seen in other places that you're not there for. I'm just curious about how it's all going, and yeah, yeah.
I've totally lost what you said.
Basically,
Sorry, you're totally breaking up. Um, I got from where you said this is a similar thing.
so basically, like there was a film I did called The Burglar, which was also
Yes,
a production.
the burglar. Yeah, Xander Kopp. I'm forgetting Xander. Xander was huge in our production too. Like he was made everything work.
So it was we had a great festival run. We got into like the Toronto Black Film Festival, Montreal Black Film Festival.
Yeah,
We created a film that tackled some issues.
yeah,
It didn't go too in depth, but it just sort of hit them at a point, and then it's a short. So you go in, you go up. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
With the situation. And I'm just curious about how you sort of, if you wanted to explain sort of the issues that Boundless tackles or sort of explores. And I think just how you think that's been something more of a calling card for the film to get into festivals and to make an impact, I guess. And what festival?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
I think the most important thing is that it sort of translates how powerful it is when women unite, and how destructive it can be is when we hold each other back or
right,
down or whatever the thing may be, because the woman who who is the, I don't want to tell too much about it, but somebody who's the head of it is like ends up kind of kiboshing the thing, in the end, which is the thing. It's hard to deal with, like that's the reality. But um yeah, that, and just for the fact that they were women, they could not continue, doing this. They were not allowed to fly any planes commercially or in the military again until many decades later, many
right,
many decades. And they had to go back to nothing, like back to what they were called up because they were needed, and just because the men were coming home and needed jobs, they automatically had to go back
right,
because of their gender,
right.
and
Ridiculous.
yeah, I just think, yeah, that's what I think. And I think, yeah, the more, and not in a cheesy way, you know what I mean? Like, I want to show what it really looks like and how stunning it is when it's authentic that women band together, not in some idea of it or rah rah women, but like really when we need each other, and when there's a meeting like that, and when it's for service that is serving something greater than themselves. It is the most powerful thing on the planet, I feel. And it's the most cinematic thing, I think. Like women and planes, for me, that's it.
Fuck yeah. What have been some of, I guess, just some of the best stops along the way for the festival run for you?
Ooh, it's been nice to have it recognized here.
Yep.
Like we had the Female Eye Festival, which was really fantastic. And, uh, you know, Leslie Ann Coles made sure that we had a lot of really great roundtables and stuff. And it was sort of the most interactive experience that I've had, because, and meeting other filmmakers, even though we couldn't meet in the same location, we were meeting virtually,
Right.
which is not the same thing, but it was one of my favorites for sure.
Mm.
And then we've just picked up uh, the best drama short or the best drama film at Atlanta Film Festival, which was really really
Congratulations.
cool. I wish we could have gone to some of these, and then it's been in Moscow, and it's been in London, it's been in Slovakia, where it was screened at this really beautiful museum. And it's been all over the world. And I one thing I really wish is that we had the opportunity to go to some of these places, but there's more to come. There's more to come. So next time.
Well, in that more to come, I'm just wanting to just sort of recall to being that this is inspiring women and motivating them to take their shot
Mhm.
is you're leading by
Yeah.
example. Boundless. I'm curious, is this exclusively the work you're going to try and continue to take on and follow? Is this something that you want to just sort of like that Boundless was a good stepping stone to getting to just more and more and more?
Of the same type of project, you mean?
No, just like projects that are like exclusively encouraging like just women-based stories and just like female
Well, yeah,
narratives.
I mean, what's funny about that's a great question, and I think it's where my passion lies for sure. Um, I also the film that I'm working on now, the feature film,
Yep.
you know, she's an anti-hero, um, and I love that too. You know,
Yep.
it's messy, and I love that. So I guess yes, it's the same thing. It's just sort of women getting to express themselves or watching them go through and dealing with mental health or sibling rivalry or their jealousy or their rage, and then like working through this stuff, and then what happens, we get to see it. We don't judge it, we just get to see it, like witness it.
Right.
And so just creating space for those, for that voice and those voices of things that we haven't really heard enough of, I think. So yeah, it is the short answer to your question.
I love it. I mean, like, there's just been, it's just been awesome to watch this festival run for Boundless. I love every post I'm seeing. I'm just like, yes, yes, another one, another one. Uh,
Thank you.
I
That's so
love,
kind.
yeah, no, I love the momentum, and I just want to, let you know, like, I'm a big supporter, but I also, I just want to kind of like ask what it feels like for you to get that support and feel that support from this online, building that online audience, and I guess just what that experience has been like, just feeling that positive feedback.
It's been incredible. It really has been incredible because you go through this thing, and especially, you know, coming out of post, you're like, oh my God, is anyone going to even understand this or like it at all? Because you're so in it, you
Yeah,
know, and then you kind of show it to a few close friends and people who were involved, and then they give you notes, so you go back and fix it and or make the adjustments or not. And then to have it finished is like the scariest thing ever, because then it's
out there.
final, and it's the perfectionist in me does not like that. So it's great. It's a real thing of like trust and letting go, and then realizing this thing had nothing to do with you to begin with. Like, it's just you're a vessel for this thing. So it sort of takes the pressure off when you're like, okay, I created this thing to be enjoyed. It is none of my business what anyone really thinks of it. Am I proud of it? And oh, come back. Are you there?
I am.
Are
Are
you
you?
there? Are you there?
I am.
Shoot. Oh, there you are. Okay. So I think one of the most important things too is, and a very close, someone close to me, somebody close to me passed away, who was like a guru to me and was a guru. And she passed away in August, and is very suddenly. And, you know, something she always said was, you got to impress yourself, you know, like that's like your biggest critic. You know, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, or if it's not impressing you, like you're not doing it for the impression, like trying to get someone to be impressed. Like, you got to impress yourself first.
Right.
So
It's a good place to start.
yeah.
I wanted to go back to sort of how the connection with Buck started on this, and sort of that collaboration with Emma Fleury Harvey, who just today is her first day back at Buck after her maternity leave. So just wanted to shout out Emma,
Oh, cool.
who's
Oh, she's
returning.
back. Yay. Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
great.
So just yeah, just wanting to
That's
maybe
awesome.
take us through a flashback of that collaboration.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Buck, you know, we worked together. We had, you know, they picked it up, and we were working together and making it, trying to make it from a film into a series. I had written a bunch of stuff, and the thing I loved about working with, you know, Sean and Emma and everyone at Buck is they gave me so much creative freedom, which was really, really lovely. And, you know, we took it around and you know, to a few places. And I I feel like the world is ready for it now, perhaps, but it's also a massive, massive story, massive historical story. And, you know, so, but, and for the short, they were really phenomenal. Like, we couldn't have done it without their help. Like, it was really fantastic, you know, to have their support. So it was great. And I loved working with Emma
Nice.
and Sean.
Nice.
They're good people.
Yeah, they are. They're great. I'm very proud to work at Buck and to rep and to be a part of, get the opportunity to, you know, talk about all of these wonderful projects. And this has been a really awesome experience for me. So just shout out to Sean and Emma and Jim and
Yeah.
the whole team. It's great.
Yeah.
This is a question I always ask, and it's just one of those ones that I think is more relevant, especially with this big strike that's about to happen in the States.
Yeah.
Is supporting others in this somewhat chaotic media landscape, and the importance of mental health and the whole work-life balance, and how that sort of pertains to, I guess, you on a personal level, and just your thoughts on what it takes to support one another.
Yeah. I mean, we're in a time of great upheaval and great change, and things are coming to light that needed to be in the light so long ago. And I think it's a fantastic time to be standing up for things and going, this isn't working for me anymore. And I think it does start with our own mental health and our own sort of, you know, how am I present? Am I here? Like, what is happening with me? Because if that's off and that's not right, then how can you participate in anything else? You know, I think this is really important, and that we support each other through these changes, because I'm excited.
A slight buffer. Oh my gosh. Technological
Seeing things
issues.
start to move.
Cheers to everybody who's joined this live stream tonight. Oh, here you are.
Sorry, I'm still talking. No worries. No. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jade. Thank you. Are we done?
No, I mean, you're not done yet, Kate. No, you're not.
Okay.
No, I guess.
Did you hear my answer?
I started to. I mean, it all just. I mean, Sarah Thomas Moffat just put the comment down there. Lots of love. It does start with a lot of love.
Aww.
But just
Love
supporting
you, Sarah.
supporting one.
Yeah, I mean, support. We have to support one another. We're all in the same. I don't care if you're behind the in front of the camera, behind the camera. We have to take care of each other. We have to take care of ourselves. It's becoming more relevant than ever, and we're just in a time of really great change, and it's an exciting time to be alive. There's so much that's shifting for the good and the greater good that you know, we're not going to take it anymore. We're not going to take it anymore.
That's awesome. Well, I just wanted to say once again, I super duper crazy appreciate you for coming on to this live stream tonight, and you did answer what's on the horizon. So very excited for Satisfaction, as well as just the continued run for Boundless, and the potential development.
I want to just say, I forgot to say, I don't know if I'm gonna. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I forgot to say too, like, about how amazing. I just going to go back to Boundless for 1 second, about my composer, Camilla Wolf Dublin, and the fact that my hometown, during COVID, had one musician at a time go in and record his score.
Oh, wow.
And then it was sent back to LA, and, you know, then mixed in, and then it was just phenomenal. So I forgot to mention that, and I was really very proud and happy with how that turned out. So
no,
I don't know if you got any of that.
No, music is it makes all the difference in the world with filmmaking, for sure.
Oh my God, I'm a music nut, and I chased a Russian Irish beautiful vocalist for this one piece in the film that I wanted, and I emailed her like repeatedly, and finally she said I could use her piece of music. So music is everything to me. So
Amazing.
in
Well,
film.
just continue to keep us in the loop, Kate, on everything. I'm very excited for what's next for you. And like you said,
Thank
this is
you.
just the start. So keep
Just the beginning.
yeah, keep it coming,
Yeah.
keep it going. And yeah, just thank you once again for joining. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jade.
No,
Thank you.
my pleasure completely. And boundless talent, everybody's proud. So it's a proud moment. So just keep soaking it in and keep those vibes rolling. It rocks. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
until we meet again, hopefully at a screening.
Yes. Can we do that, please?
Absolutely. Well, I'll sign off for now and have a
Okay.
wonderful rest of your evening.